Future generations could get this urge. Stay woke, youngin', and avenge these nerds.
It's Tuesday night. Oh wait, I'm on the bottom. No, that's not right.
There we go.
Is that serious?
It is that serious. We have our flow.
It helps.
You know
it
how
helps
goes.
with the introduction flow. I think that's what it is.
True. I'll give it that.
That's your boy Sebastian.
It's your boy Law.
And your boy Tone from across the hall.
Tuesday night, 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, live with the nerds, and you know what time it is. We're going to be
what if?
Oh yeah, but we also got a special here for you guys tonight because we're gonna go. But before we air that little special treat and everything, let's go over some announcements. So please, guys, if you're watching, please subscribe to the YouTube channel, follow us on Twitch, listen to us on Spotify, on your favorite podcast apps. You can follow us on Instagram and TikTok. So please follow us on there. Also, to September 29th, 9:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. We're going to be doing a little fun special with MLA Entertainment involving one of their projects, Project Infinity. So we're actually going to do a live table read with Project Xfinity, with Project Infinity, with MLA Entertainment, with you know what I mean, with MLA Entertainment's Project Infinity. Okay, I can't say that 5 times fast. I am messed up. All right, but yeah, I'm excited for that.
You try to burn through announcements.
No, because I'm excited, man. It's Tuesday.
I know you're excited, but you can still just slowly go.
Anyway,
just a smidge.
Just a smidge. You know what it is? I just need an Austin. That's it. Just one Austin.
Austin is not always the answer.
It is. Anyway, but that's about it. So let me play the commercial for you guys because in the back we got the amazing Jeff Ryder right now who is with us. His new book is out, the Arcane Cocktail Enthusiast. The Kickstarter just started today. The link is in the description so you can get your hands on this book by helping support this Kickstarter. If you don't know what this Kickstarter is about, let's roll that beautiful bean footage. Yo, that trailer is just on fire right there.
I'm here for it.
That's a good trailer.
Yo, for real. I'm here for it. Let's do
So without further ado, the one, the only Jeff Ryder. Jeff, what's up, brother?
Hey guys, what's going on?
What's up?
Welcome
What's
back.
up?
Oh, it's good to be back. How you been?
We're good. We're
Good,
good.
man.
Good.
Fresh off your last Kickstarter, fresh off Con. You've been a busy man, sir.
Oh God, man, you don't even know. We did 2 cons since and beyond. I feel like
Oof.
we were at MegaCon. We're at MegaCon in Orlando, and we were at Florida SuperCon in Miami.
Wow.
Ooh, nice.
Oh, you've been busy.
Yeah, we have
Nice,
been busy.
Nice.
So
On the
you were,
con circuit.
manning tables, or they did digital?
No, we did tables at both of them.
Nice,
Oh,
nice,
nice.
nice.
Yeah,
How's that been like?
MegaCon Orlando was great. It's right in my backyard. I live in Orlando now, and even though I used to live in SF, and just one second, I'm the only dude not wearing a hat this time. That happened to me last time too, so now I get to get the hat out. Represent the Bay Area where I used to live. But yeah, we were doing MegaCon in Orlando, and it was great. It was everybody was masked up. They were real strict about the rules. They were walking around like if your mask was even down on your nose a little bit, they're like, nope, get that up, bring it up. even some of the cosplayers. There's a kid in a full Spidey costume, and then on top of it, he still had his mask on. It was awesome.
Oh, that's nice.
Wow,
Yeah, it was it was funny. It's like, way to go, Spidey. He's like, got to rep the mask, so it was pretty good.
I love that.
Yeah,
I love that.
they're a little slower than they used to be. They're not as nuts, but that's probably better. It helps people stay apart a little bit, do the distancing thing. But yeah, it was good.
Well,
Good to be in
let
front
us-
of people and talking and just kind of being out there with the community and stuff.
It was really good to see the folks who run the shows. You get to know those folks. And it's nice to meet folks on your table again. Sometimes you see people in Artist Alley, you always meet new people you didn't know, new creators, and other folks are making cool things. I met a really awesome colorist from Chile at the last show.
Oh, nice.
And yeah, I'm going to run into them again at New York, it looks like. So it's pretty cool.
New York is gonna be dope, man. And if for those who don't know, if you see Jeff Ryder at New York City Comic Con, please approach him. Ask him about his awesome Kickstarters. But bro, I want to
come find me in Artist Alley. I'm going to be in there. My first year ever in Artist Alley, New York.
Oh, congratulations!
Congrats.
I'm holding down a table,
huge.
and I'm going to bring in my buddy Johnny C, who y'all probably know. He's going to be on my team.
That's awesome. That's gonna be so dope.
Yeah, we're stoked. This is a big deal for us. So
please send us all the table information so we can get the shout out and everything. Maybe do like a little pre-show or something. We're like, yep, come catch up, Johnny. And that's a party right there.
That's major, man. Congratulations to both of you guys.
Just ask Johnny for the special coffee. But I want to congratulate you, bro, because you're like halfway completing your pledge, and it just launched today. You're halfway there. So please tell us about the Arcane Cocktail Enthusiasts.
No, thank you guys. We're stoked. Yeah. This book was on hiatus for a little while during the pandemic, and we're really, really glad that we've been able to bring it back. We did a quick one-shot comic right at the beginning of the pandemic about go home, don't go to bars anymore, because our book's about a bar, and we didn't want people super excited about it doing stupid stuff. So, yeah, the Arcane Cocktail Enthusiast is a thing that I concocted with an artist named David Pupo, and it's about a woman in San Francisco who owns her own cocktail bar, and she's also secretly a wizard and makes drinks with magic. So all of her beverages have magical ingredients from crazy creatures and stuff. And we did 2 issues so far. At the end of the last one, our intrepid bar staff were in some big trouble. They were in the bay in San Francisco, and they were drowning, and there's some really bad stuff going on. And then big spoiler, we found out that at least one member of the bar staff is one of the last mermaids in existence. And she comes in and saves everybody. And that's all the beginning of issue 3. And then it just gets crazier from there. We have like running magical battles in the mission in San Francisco, which is pretty great. We're going to magically destroy at least one coffee shop. Which is, San Francisco's probably got that coming.
Slowly it's like ripping apart. Like, no, not the coffee shop.
Yeah. Well, it's San Francisco. Everybody will think you're just practicing for Burning Man. They won't even really know what's going on. Yeah, it's really great. This issue is hardcore. There's some dark secrets that get revealed about our main character, Lark, and her magical past, and how she uses her magical cookbook to become the super awesome bartender, and why certain people are hunting these creatures. And it's going to get a little dark before the end, but it's fun. It's that 3rd issue, so we got to really bring in that scary stuff going on.
And a big shout out from Rodney Fike, who you guys could catch on his channel. Definitely, he's always doing some awesome drawing. And we had him on for Pitter Perry Goes Magic Drink Mixes. Makes you want to stay around for last call. Yes, it does.
Definitely.
That's right. There are magical drink recipes in every issue, actually.
Ooh, nice.
Yeah, I was a bartender for like 20 years, so I've got some good recipes. And some of these are magic, but if you can't get a hold of unicorn tears, there are some real world substitutions you can use, like vodka. So, we made sure that if you're not a wizard, you can still probably pull off a pretty good version of the drink that's in the back of the book. So that's fun.
That's really cool.
It's like adult Hogwarts, but I love the. I want to like, as you keep talking about the book, the inspiration, and everything. I do want to show what you have on your Kickstarter page here, with some preview of what people can see with the artwork and everything. Oh wait, and it didn't pop up. It was almost there. This is the fun part about lives, all the fun stuff. All right, here we go. And for those who are listening, yes, tune into the YouTube channel because then you can see this. But look at these pages right here. This is some beautiful artwork.
Work. David's stuff is bonkers, like crazy detailed, and it's all about world building, which is what made me want to work on the book with him in the first place. He's so great at just establishing these unbelievable places and fantastical beings and stuff. mean, check out that mermaid. How fly is that?
That is
And,
Very dope.
I mean, he really nailed it. And we have a new colorist on this issue, which we're also stoked about. Leslie Atlansky is awesome. I've known her for a little while and through some of the anthologies that I was part of. And she's super great and has kind of taken on coloring duties and just really putting an extra sheen on David's work, which is, I mean, it's just gorgeous.
No, the David's work and then the colors on top of it, it just makes it just really, really, really stand out with this book. It's really beautiful, these pages. And then again, like even like right here with the lights and the colors and all that, that neon glow and all that, it gives like that the magical feel that you're creating in this world's popping off, and even the color of that drink. So I already know, Jeff, you're a bartender. You're gonna be mixing us this drink when we all have a nerds in person. Jeff, you're gonna be in the background at the bar making us drinks.
That's right.
Yo, I feel like we've been just inviting a bunch of bartenders to come out and hang out with us.
Yeah, there's supposed to be a huge ass cookout that Seabass keeps manifesting into the universe.
Listen, I'm here for it, but like I don't know if our livers are here for it, but we're trying our best.
It's all right. That's why you need barbecue food. It soaks up the alcohol and you keep drinking. It's a marathon.
Right. That's right.
Your ribs there,
not
I'm
a
there.
sprint.
Yeah, you don't go 4 IPAs deep and then that's it. You tap out.
So what are some of the awards that people can expect when they're supporting the Kickstarter?
Oh, there's some good stuff in there. You just scroll past the crazy good alt cover that our pal Liana Kangas did for us. Look at that thing. How great is that?
Gorgeous.
Liana's done a great alt cover. So we've got 2 versions of issue 3 that are out. The fun part about this book is it's always got good bar swag for it. So not only can you get the new issue, and if you are brand new to the series and you haven't found us before, there are tiers where you can get all 3 issues. So you get caught up all the way. You can do physical, you can do digital. We're doing both versions. But there you see the awesome bar coasters. We had coasters last time. We got some more of them this time. I've just about used up all my coasters. I have like 6 left. So they're great. They're flat. They're recyclable. They're good for the world. We're gonna have bar staff T-shirts again. This is a little bit of a different design than we did the first time. It might be subject to change. David and I are tweaking the logo of the bar staff shirt for a little bit, but I'm still rocking the last of the old bar staff shirts from last time. So this one's about wore out. I need a new one. But yeah, there's gonna be some good stuff. We've got a couple of sort of secret things depending on how far we get down the deal. But it's fun because it's always bar related. We won't be doing what we did for the last campaign, which was the Arcanist bar matchbooks, because we found out it's a violation of federal law to ship matches in the mail.
You already have Cheyenne's money.
That sounds.
Cheyenne's like, take my money.
Sorry, guys. That said, next time I see you in real life, I've still got about 20 matchbooks left, so I'll save them for you.
There it is.
Cool. There we go.
And then also too, they get the poacher, right?
Yes, this is really cool. Speaking of New York Comic Con, me and an artist named Jarrett Katz met at the last real live in-person New York Comic Con, and we hung out for a while, and we were just totally vibing. It's one of those things where you meet an artist, and right off the bat, you can tell that their style makes you want to tell stories. And Jarrett and I sat and we talked about like what we dig when it comes to fantasy and like full-blown sword and sorcery sci-fi fantasy. The Arcane Cocktail Enthusiast is probably what you call urban fantasy. Sometimes it happens in other worlds, sometimes it happens in our world. But The Poacher is in a wildly fantastical world, and it's about hunting and magical creatures, so it's a little adjacent to what's going on with Arcane. So it felt like a good place to include it. But Jared and I came up with this story. Yeah, it's about a woman who's poaching a dragon on the King's Preserve and hunting at a place where magic is fatal. And she's both a hunter and a sorcerer herself, and she's just a hoss. Jarrett created this great, huge, big Ronda Rousey-looking chick who hunts this dragon, and we're pretty stoked about it. It was great because we met at New York Comic Con. 2 days later, I left the U.S. and went to Indonesia for about a week, and wrote the whole thing sitting on the beach. And the beginning, you see that, I know, right? My kid was over there for school, or kind of for school, and so we went over there to visit her. And but yeah, you see in the opening credits of the thing, like the chick comes out of the ocean and onto this island, and I just basically wrote the thing sitting on an island, and Jarrett's style just totally inspired me to it just spilled out by sitting in this crazy place. So
it feels like a hero journey from like a D&D campaign.
Yeah, it's very cool.
Yeah, it's very sword and sorcery, urban, like fantasy. It is very traditional, and it's one of the first super traditional fantasies I've ever done. There's not a picture of the dragon in it because it's a little spoilery when you get to the dragon and you find out what's up with it. But yeah, it's a cool story. It's fun.
Yeah, that was like I'm on the boat with Sharon. Just shut up and take my money, bro. But no, it's like, again, we got to talk to you about, which again, guys, if you're watching, definitely check out the link in the description, which is also linking to the creative series interview we did with Jeff, where he was talking about Captain Holmes and Major Watson, which again was another fantastic Kickstarter that we were able to get to cover and talk to you about that book and learn more about you and everything. I'm glad to get to get to know you too through the comics world and everything, because and just seeing your books and all that, like, between some of the creators, I know your material too is definitely the material. I would definitely love them to be like, hey, give this guy a contract to make his stuff a Netflix show right now. Pay him all the money, because this stuff is fantastic. The cocktail enthusiasts, I want them cocktails.
Yeah. The cocktail part's fun. It's great to be able to write in that world because, like I said, I was a bartender for 20 years. Bunches of my old regulars are in this book. Old coworkers of mine have become characters in the book. Like that mermaid's not just some random mermaid that we made up. She totally is based on a couple of different ladies that I work with. And there's a killer character from issue 2 who appears again in issue 3, who's a part of the house band at the bar, who is based on an old bar regular of mine named Bill Perkins, who was a bass player and played in a lot of bands in Lubbock and passed away a few years ago. And so we made a magical version of him, and he ends up in the book. And a lot of my old bartending friends have seen it, and are glad to be able to remember Bill in that cool way. So that's stuff like that is why you want to like totally write what you know and make things out of life experience and what have you. And so we're really stoked to be able to get it out there. And we're really pleased that people are responding to it. I couldn't believe it was as high up as it was on only the first day.
How long has this been like a concept that's been like floating around in your head?
It's interesting because the way it came out of my head had to do with meeting artists and how much as a writer I respond to creative people and the things that people draw. I had the idea maybe to write a story about a magical bartender or a superhero bartender. It wasn't certain. Didn't really know who they were, what the story was about or anything. And I was at a show. I'm pretty sure it was San Diego Comic-Con, but it might have been WonderCon. It was when I still lived on the West Coast. And I met a young lady named Lacey LeBlanc, who was an artist at one of these creator meetups that we are all been a part of. And I was flipping through her portfolio, just looking at her art, and there was a full-page head sketch of this woman with blue hair and half a mohawk and the crisp white collar shirt. And I was like, wow, that's my magical bartender. And I didn't even know she was a woman until I saw this picture. But that's her. Please let me write this story for you. It's about this woman who's a bartender, but she's also secretly a wizard. She makes drinks with magic because she has a cookbook, like a magic cookbook of how to bake unicorns, but she's super vegetarian and she doesn't give a crap about baking unicorns. But she can use the magic to make drinks instead. And Lacey looked at me and she's like, okay, crazy dude, like whatever. And I was like, come on, let's do it. And she's like, okay. And the more I talked to her about it, like just looking at her art, like the story started exploding in my mind. And she was an art student and she killed it. She did a 7-page little mini comic that we did on the web, and she crazy talent. She's going to explode one day. You can find her on the internet at Dead Bomb Art. She's great. She didn't end up doing the full length print comic because she was still in school and circumstances were what they were. But she passed off all of her artwork and character design and stuff to David when I met David, and David just took it and ran with it because his style is built for this kind of stuff. And so, yeah, it's been around as a concept in a couple of different forms for probably 6 years, maybe a little longer. Yeah. And then like I said, we had 2 issues cranking and we were really rocking it before the pandemic hit. And then, that changes things. And in particular, some of our team, their jobs changed. And so they were just, it had to get a little slow. But now that things are getting back to normal and things are normalizing, we can pick it up again, which we're really excited to do.
And it's still climbing, guys. This is day 1. We haven't even passed a day, and you're already a little over half your goal towards getting this fully funded. Which again, congratulations on that.
Thank you.
The artwork is beautiful and everything.
But 60%.
I have one final question, which is, we know you did it.
I didn't do it. Every time somebody says that, I get worried. What?
What's up, George? George, you got to get Jeff on your show. He has a Kickstarter that just launched today. Fully funded, bro. Fully funded right now. Fund it right now, bro. Go right now. Give him your money, George. George is from Catch the Craze. Catch him on Catch the Craze. We did an awesome creative series with him not too long ago too. Catch that, guys. And Catch the Craze is awesome. We invaded their show too, which that was fun. We had a lot of fun. But no, I wanted to ask about the big bad of the Forces of Evil, Mace Zentazari. What can we ask about this guy that you can reveal that's not too spoily and what we can expect as fans?
That great big old fat evil looking somebody. Like I love that. Mace is really great because David took my idea about what evil really is in the world and super ran with it. He was a character that for me was really vague when we first started, because to me, like I say this all the time and I'll get all philosophical for a minute, but like the only real evil in the world and the root of all evil in the world is greed, just selfishness. Just people who say me first and everybody else later and get out of my way. Gimme, gimme, gimme. I just need me and mine, right? People who don't think about the world at large and people don't think about others. And when it came to a story about a wizard who protects magical creatures from being hunted in a world where there's almost no magic left because human wizards for years were greedy bastards who took whatever they wanted, the villain had to be massive, like gluttonously huge and gross. So David created this villain who he's not big in the way Thanos is big or in the way Darkseid is big. He's a disgusting fat slime ball. Like he's all belly. He's like, oh, he's like this big, right? He's just gluttony and greed personified. He has a deep connection to, and like I mean, look at that dude, right? I mean, he looks pretty big right there, but he's willing to take whatever he can. He's not interested in sharing things with people. He doesn't care if things are endangered or if the last mermaid in the world is out there. He wants to catch her and cook her and eat her. Like, come on, man, that's not cool. He's gross. Like, ultimately, Mace is super gross. And his name comes from one of my wife's best friends, so she gets really crappy when I say all these terrible things about it. But, because I actually know someone whose name is Mace, which is pretty amazing. And she's awesome. She's a professional flamenco dancer. And so Mace's last name means dancer in some other language. I want to say Bulgarian. And that's where we got it. Like, we named it after her because she's one of my wife's cocktail friends. And but it just seemed like a super dope name. And then David took him and just made him this great big fat slime ball. But he also has a connection to Lark's past, Lark's missing father, and the source of Lark's actual magic, our main character's magical stuff, possibly is connected to Mace. And there's a new character in issue 3 that starts to connect those dots a little bit. Mace is going to meet, I don't want to get too spoilery. Mace is going to meet a character who's only known as D, and D has some deep, dark connections to Mace and to Lark's dad. And we're going to see the beginnings of that in this issue. And then in the next issue, it's really going to explode. So,
guys, you're here right here. The link is in the description for the Kickstarter. Again, Jeff is a little more than halfway there. So come on, fully fund this. Let's get this funded so we can get into some stretch goals. Because this book list looks amazing, and from what we've seen so far and heard so far, come on, guys. Wizards and cocktails.
Get it funded within a week, and then just have 3 weeks of stretch goals.
That's it. That's right. That's the goal. That's what I hope.
Break a stretch goal, make a stretch goal, break it again, just rinse, repeat.
I mean, at the rate you're going, I'm sure that's what we're gonna get.
I think we're gonna be okay. Knock on wood. I hate to say that, but we've had some fantastic creators out there who've helped us. A lot of the folks in my network are really pushing it on all the social media, and you guys being around and helping us, letting us come on the show and talk about it's pretty great. So.
Anytime, man. Again, we love always having you on the show, bro. As get to connect and also talk geek, which we're gonna do right now. Tone, give us the warning.
Yes, the spoiler warning for you, George, my friend. Just for you. We waited just for you. Tonight we are talking episode 5 of season 1 of What If Zombies. I guess I get to say it again, and it's relevant. Tony Stark has died. Tony Stark was eaten, decapitated. A whole bunch of Avengers died. It was rough. And then we got a zombie Thanos at the end. I'm here for it. I really hope they run with this, and we'll see. But Tony Stark is dead and eating things alive. Let's get to it.
Let's get to it. So Jeff, you are well. First of all, George says, "What's up?" Remembers you from the writers panel because that was an awesome panel. You guys can check out the writers panel still on the Mbeyond web, Mbeyond YouTube, Mbeyond.com.
That was
Mbeyond
tons of fun.
Oh, dude, that was one of the fun panels there. And then here we go. He says, "Thank you, sirs." Yes, he loves it. So, Jeff, how did you feel about this What If episode with the tie-in with the Marvel and everything that was going on? Please,
Well, I
please.
gotta say, man, What If is just getting darker and darker and darker, right? Like, I mean, my wife and I both finished it, and we kind of turned and looked at each other, and we were like, "Wait, did that just happen? Are all the Avengers dead?" And it's I don't know what's going on. I really dug it. I really did. I didn't read the old Marvel Zombies series that much. I used to pick them up in the shop and flip through them because it was a treat to like look at the crazy art that those guys are coming up with of turning these various Avengers and other Marvel characters into zombies and stuff. This was pretty compelling. It was, I wouldn't say it was as dark as The Walking Dead, obviously, but it had that undertone in there of a lot of loss. And it was really interesting to me that they put Spider-Man at the heart of this particular story because we haven't seen in the MCU a whole ton of Peter's loss. Like, obviously, they skipped right past the Uncle Ben stuff, and we get all that. Because, I mean, come on, we've seen that like 14 times.
Yes.
And it was right to do so, right? And skip right past it. And Peter's a younger kid, and the Tom Holland version of Peter is super positive and fun. And he's like that here, too. Like, that's a part of the core of this episode. But it was the first time you hear him talk about Uncle Ben, as far as I can remember. You could tell, you could see even in the animated face, the heartbreak of losing his Aunt May, which they glossed right over, but clearly that's what happened. And the idea that Hope can talk him into being this positive force at the end of the world with all the zombies and stuff. And then he like immediately layered in that dark, I have lost a lot of people to this apocalypse type thing. That to me was super compelling. Like, that part of the story in particular, taking this positive force in the MCU and reminding you that like Peter has this incredible sadness, and that's sort of what gives him strength at the thing. Like, that, as the writer, to me, that was my favorite part of the whole thing. I thought it was great.
Peter Grimes. Hey. It's crazy how they Futurama heads in a tank. Scott Lang.
Yeah, I love how Vision solved zombieism, and apparently he also solved in a tank and keeping them alive. Like, he didn't get around to, this guy doesn't have a heart or any lungs or whatever. He's just in this thing.
It's just a head.
Whoops.
It's fine.
I love that.
And like, no. If there's a character in the MCU that you're going to put as the head in the jar, it's Lang. Like, who else's head? No, but
he can make it work. He can be positive and excited and just make it run. You know, like him saying Wingardium Leviosa, like, that's him. That's just like, dude, like, you can't have any other Avengers head just there because they would just be all mopey.
Well, so I admit that, like, I'm pretty ignorant about how animation actually gets made. I mean, I understand the nature of whatever, but for years I didn't totally know that they generally record all of the audio first and then go in and animate the stuff. Like, I used to wonder how the actors like talked and made it match the words from the thing, and then I realized it's stupid. That's not how they do it. But like, while I was watching it, I kept thinking, how much of this did Paul Rudd just completely ad-lib? Like that Wingardium Leviosa thing. Did he do something else? And they're like, no, you can't use, that's not a Disney property, man. You can't throw that in there. You're going to get sued.
As a betting man, I would say the odds are pretty good.
Yeah, right? You know, Paul Rudd loves to just rip that stuff. So that was super funny.
So because I know me, Tony, and Law loved the episode because it was just that whole zombie. But I wanted to get your take on that. But what I want to touch up on is the final Avenger lineup that we got to defend the world. I wanted to get everyone's take on that because this was like I don't want to say the bottom of the barrel, but kind of surprising. Like, we had Happy Hogan, we had what's his face? We had Kurt from Ant-Man, who was part of the crew. We had Hope Van Dyne. I mean, this was just like the last people. I mean, how did you guys feel about this final version of being the last remaining heroes? Law.
I mean, you're figuring me first.
Yep.
So we have two takes for that because we have the final, people that you meet before they hit Grand Central Station or whatnot, and then you have them when they finally get to where Vision
is.
Right. you know. So there's two versions of it. I love the original. Like you have Happy, you have. It seems like that kind of what's the word? That
It was, it was like the replacements. That's what it felt like.
Yeah, it's
like the A team got struck out, and like now we need to, and like these aren't like, and not to kibosh any of these characters. A lot of them are capable heroes, but they're not the varsity team when it comes to like who are your starters. Your starters all got wiped.
Yeah. So essentially, it feels like they're just like, oh, it's on us. I do like that they let Okoye, who, you know, her VA played Michonne. Like, I thought that was pretty dope. I was like, come on, you have Michonne back for the zombie apocalypse. Let's do it again. But having a few characters like the Kurt guy, who was one of the characters from Ant-Man and Wasp and what have you, and having Emily, what's her name?
Yeah,
bless you.
The power broker, the new power broker. Bless you.
Yeah, was she the power broker? Was she not? I don't know.
If she was
still writing that. They're still writing that.
But it was a very
not in this
interesting
one. She didn't make it as a power broker yet.
It was a
right, like depending on when the zombie apocalypse happened in the Marvel universe.
That's also true. I feel
so
like
it happened before the snap.
It's before this. It's 2 weeks. So the Watcher gives you this. So the whole timeline,
right? Because he crashes into.
The MCU timeline is the same except 2 weeks before Banner drops. So Civil War happened, and like, you know, nothing brings a brotherhood back together like a zombie apocalypse.
But it was but it was pre Civil War. It was post no, it was Civil War.
No, it was
after Civil War.
That's when
it was Civil War that she got screwed over by Cap and ended up on the run,
right?
And whatever. Which so she would have been at least partially established as the power broker by then.
But yeah, having.
I mean, zombies eat the whole world. It's kind of tough to be a power broker in Madripoor. Madripoor's nothing but zombies.
Fair point. But then you have like the last when we find out like the reveal where we have Black Panther, we have Vision, we have Scott Lang, and you're just like, this is like who we have left. Like this, we have Wanda, who's a nutcase at this point. We're just gone like zombie mad crazy, and then you also have Vision, who's just like, yeah, that's my girl, I'm gonna support her. It's like, no, like this is where you draw the line, sir. Like, there's gotta be a line in the sand.
So you guys felt that Vision played that one trope in a zombie flick that wants to keep their loved one alive.
Yes.
Yeah, Vision was the governor.
They did all the tropes. They did them all. They did them all, and they did them perfectly, and they worked within 32 minutes. You got most zombie apocalyptic movie tropes.
Who's going to be the governor? It's going to be Vision because he's super dedicated to Wanda. Like that's how it is. It's not a kid; it's his wife. But whatever. It's the same. It's the same. Because Vision is very single-minded and super dedicated to Wanda, especially the MCU version of Vision that we know. Yeah.
I love that Spider-Man. They used him to do the Zombieland little montage thing with how to survive in the zombie apocalypse.
Yeah, it was a mix of Zombieland for the rules, and then and also with his Homecoming, where you see his video of everything that happened in Civil War at the airport. So it was cool that they mixed both of those.
Yeah.
Tone, how's that going?
Oh shit! Are we talking about the B team? Is that what we're talking? Because we just kind of went on a riff.
Yeah, I mean we can go past the B team.
Yeah. Let's go past the B team.
I want to ask you guys, and I want to see who wants to take this first. Did you notice some of the little nods that they did both to the comics and the Thanos butt thing? They really gave a nod in this. Do anybody remember that?
I will take this. I don't know why, but I will. I didn't read the Marvel Zombie comic run. I watched a bunch of YouTube videos, and I saw there's a number of really good comparisons they do, like what they did with T'Challa. I know that there's a lot of them in there. If you read the run, a lot of nuggets for you. But the Thanos butt thing are you talking about when Hope went inside Sharon and then expanded?
Because remember, for a while, everyone was like, that became a meme. Or like, why doesn't Ant-Man just fly up back there and just grow up in there? And we kind of got something like that with this, which I think was a nod at the fans. I mean,
I really don't know. But, you know, if you want to think it's a nod, you can. I don't think Kevin Feige and the rest of them are like, you know what? Let's feed this.
But Go ahead.
It makes logical sense that Hope, who is way smarter than Scott, would realize, let me go inside the zombie and expand and blow it up from the inside.
Right.
Like, where Scott's like, maybe that would come up. You know.
Oh, I think that one lost Jeff. There we go. Jeff was like, we are not talking about that one.
Yeah. But I did notice some of the nods to the comic book run, which I thought were pretty cool. And that they were able to kind of add those homages to it, because we're not getting a full series. We're literally just getting like this 30-minute slice in the life of the apocalypse, and they were able to kind of fit it all in. It didn't feel force-fed. They still told their narrative, but were able to kind of weave in what the fans of that run know, which I thought was cool.
I think that's been one of the strengths of the What If series the whole time, is that every one of these is a whole literal world. Like it's an entire comic run if you were writing this as comics. Mm-hmm. It's so much world building in such a tiny little bit of space. And it super helps that we know all these characters, right? Like you don't have to figure out why Hope's a good person and why Spidey's got a good core and that Sharon and Bucky have a past and all of that stuff. Because we all understand the MCU and we all get it. But they still built mountains of world into every one of these episodes. And this one in particular, I mean, they went from Bruce flying through the thing to zombie apocalypse to how many states were we in the course of this thing? At least 3. It's bonkers. Yeah, they and Doctor Strange one before it, and every episode of What If so far has been, for a compact storytelling space, like a really, really great set of world building.
Yeah, and I'm confused with what they're going to do, because I do know we are supposed to get the Party Thor episode, so I don't know if that's going to breathe the levity that we get for these past 2 weeks.
We need a break, right?
Yeah, so I wouldn't be surprised if tomorrow is Party Thor, and then
is supposedly the Killmonger meets.
Oh, is it?
Episode.
That's a good episode too, because Killmonger's given a new light.
Yeah, it's not as dark, but
yeah,
knowing Killmonger's backstory, it still could be.
If he didn't leave Wakanda, that is true. So We'll see. But yeah, no, I know we've got a couple episodes, but I don't know, man. It's kind of crazy how they're doing it, and they're making it work, and they're just kind of I love what they're doing. I don't know. I keep gushing over it, but I really love the zombie one just because it's zombies. But like, what makes the zombie world scary is like all the other stuff around it, about it. And then you throw in like these superheroes who, for some reason, even though they're zombies and they're eating people and biting, they're still able to do all their powers, which is like nuts.
I also feel like we can, like, to Cheyenne's point, we can track a lot of these What If episodes that are going to like go back and just blame Hank Pym. Like Hank Pym in the comics is such like that dude where it's like, what happened now? And you look at you know, like that Harry Potter, like, why is it always you three? It's literally Hank, Tony, and then it'd be Reed Richards. Like, those are the 3 usual suspects of like what you three do this time. Maybe Doctor Strange.
Yeah. Well, and Hank is a generally a horrible person in the comics a lot. Like, if you get really into the backstory and the abusive stuff and some of the real sketchy episodes of Hank, and they have not made that part of his character in the MCU. They skipped ahead to him being super old, and we didn't really see much of Hank. And I think that's probably a wise choice, because Ant-Man's real goofy, and you can't start with the dark Hank and then get to Scott Lang. Just go to Paul Rudd and let's have Paul Rudd. That's good. But yeah, it makes a lot of sense that Hank is the core of a lot of this bad stuff, because again, people who have old school connections to the character get that Hank Pym has some dark stuff going on besides just being a dude who gets real tiny and then gets real big. Like, you know, that's pretty boring, but Hank's actually super layered and fucked up. And so of course excuse my language. And so of course he would be like the bad guy here and there.
Avengers 2:13 says it all. Read it.
There it is. There it is. That's what we're talking about.
But I love the fact that this is that in the comics though, we haven't seen in the MCU on how much Hank Pym is a villain in some ways, because he's that hero that has walked a fine gray line in the comics for selfish reasons. And we're kind of seeing that in the What If series when it comes down to it. I mean, we get a little bit in the MCU, but it's like the focus has been more on the Ant-Man, Scott Lang, whereas on the What If, we're seeing where that selfishness goes, and both times it's led to some devastating moments and death of Avengers. But
I mean, but like you gotta
okay.
also see what the man has gone through. Like,
Right.
sure, in the comic run, like when he's beating his wife and all that other stuff, that's that's unacceptable. But the way the MCU is doing it, they're doing that. He lost his daughter, like his daughter was killed on a mission, so he's holding a vendetta against Shield. And then in this one, he's been trying to find his wife. That's literally been his entire life's journey since she disappeared. To then finally find her for her to have a quantum disease, which I thought was a really cute way of saying how we got zombies. Right. So yes, it is Hank's fault, but you got to throw the man a bone. Be like, there's
sure. I don't know that the zombie apocalypse in this one is Hank's fault.
Right.
Like he didn't go into the quantum realm and go, she's a zombie, but I don't care. I'm still taking her back. Like whatever. If everybody turns into zombies, I don't give a crap. I got my wife back. Like he didn't make that choice.
Because then he's the governor.
He made him a zombie, and then then he really is the governor. No, like he didn't want to come back out as a zombie. That just happened.
But I do.
You go looking for your wife. If it turns out she's a zombie, well,
I do think this is going to lean into like that discussion we had a couple episodes back, where Marvel's villains kind of feel like, sometimes they're very hit or miss. Where we're not seeing enough of them. Now we're seeing that question of like, what's that line that makes a hero? Like, what's a hero that could have been a villain? These are those questions that we're actually answering now. So I'm really, really, really excited to see like a lot of these, like in that Doctor Strange episode, see a lot of these characters that we know have done like really messed up things, but we haven't seen them in the main timeline MCU, and see those unfold.
Now, the other thing I want to touch up on it, because I want to ask everyone's favorite scenes in the movie. I mean, in the show, because there's a lot of great scenes that happen here. Like, for example, for me, it was the Hope Van Dyne sacrifice, what she did to make sure they got there because she knew she was dying, but it's like, you know what, I'm gonna make sure you guys get there, and did the whole giant man thing. But we do get a little bit of a foreshadowing too in the episode, because there are a lot of crazy details in the episode that we haven't even touched up on that they did, which was really dope. Like when Bucky was fighting Captain America, when he punches with his mechanical arm, the animators paid attention to that. You see actually the sparks come off, but then when he punches with his human arm, you see nothing. I thought that was dope, but the whole Hope Van Dyne scene was very awesome for me. Jeff, what was one of your favorite scenes that you saw that you want to elaborate on in this episode?
Okay, I thought it was pretty great that Happy kept saying blam, blam, blam every time he was using it.
Oh, good.
That again felt like a Jon Favreau moment where he's like, well, what if every time I used it, I just did whatever? And they're like, I don't know, try it. And he did. And like it. But yeah, because I mean, come on, poor fucking Happy. Happy either loses Tony to the zombieism or loses Tony to the snap, or like Happy's not all that happy. Like a bunch of crummy stuff happens to Happy. And yet, like, you don't get to see Happy being all that heroic. Like in the MCU, a lot of times in the physical universe, they made Jon Favreau very much kind of the goofy, he's comic relief a lot of the time. And at least here, while he was funny, he got to also have a legitimate moment of heroism and kind of help out a little bit. I thought Happy was cool. I thought the inclusion of Happy was one of the things that I wasn't expecting. I absolutely didn't think that we would get a Happy Hogan moment. So that was pretty cool.
That dude! I can't wait to see the cosplays for that. People walking around going blam, blam.
Are you saying blam over and over? No, maybe whatever.
Blam reminds me of that Ewan McGregor used to do the lightsaber sounds for the early episode for the Star Wars. But one of my favorite moments was when Peter was like, "You guys don't have like horror movies in Wakanda?" It's like, "No, we have American reality TV." And I was just like, "Damn!" Like it was so good, but like that was probably the best burn in the entire like run that we've seen.
Tone.
I would say that, and then you stole mine. That Cap and Bucky fight was really a nod to the Winter Soldier like movie fight when they were on the rooftop. So I really love that.
Man, we everybody loved this episode.
Yeah. So why is my favorite scene zombie Thanos showing up? I don't know. I mean, it's zombie Thanos, but no, realistically, I really love that Spider-Man plays the lens of the viewer. So like when we watch a scary movie and we're yelling at the TV, right? That's what Spider-Man is. So he's like, why the hell are we splitting up? This is a bad idea. Like all these nods that we all know because we watch this stuff. He's doing it too, and no one's listening to him. And when we, and I thought they really did a really great job of having him be that character. So those are my moments where Spider-Man.
I'm gonna say I love the other moment too when Banner realized what was going on. He was like, yeah, because they pulled again from when Bruce Banner saw Thor, Rocket, and Groot come in and that Avengers Infinity War scene. He's like, yeah, they're kick your butt, and then they recreated that, but then he realized something's not right with these guys. So again, that's another major detail there that I don't again. Any details that we missed, guys, go back, let us know.
Also that disconnect that he had with the Hulk coming into it, where like he was like, come on, big guy, was literally all of like Infinity War was like, come on, big guy. He was like, no, I'm not doing this, I'm good.
I liked how at that point the parallel universes hadn't split that far yet. They were still close enough that they could, that some of those layers of the onion are still blurred together. But that even as it split and it got farther apart, some of the parallel things that we know are still consistently happening in our world. So that was good. They did that a little in the Doctor Strange episode too, but not as obviously as they did it in this one.
Not in this one. But there's two things I want to touch upon. But first, I want to pick on Sketchfed because Law's going to be on their show tomorrow. Well, Marvel took away Hank creating Ultron, so it might as well make up for making him a trash rogue hero. I mean, he was. They weren't going to have him ready. I'm pretty sure they would have used him, but listen, just blame Hank Pym. Just blame Hank Pym for everything. Blame him for the fact that we hadn't got X-Men in the MCU yet. But that's my next thing I want to touch
everything upon. Like Tone blames Peter.
But,
what?
I said blame Hank Pym the way Tone blames Star-Lord.
No, that's Pong.
That's Pong.
But I want to ask you guys.
All I'm saying is that I don't think he should. I think he should just waited for. He should have held his punches. That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying about this.
So, I want to ask you guys this though, because we know that the MCU is talking about bringing the mutants in, and in this episode, there's a couple of theories that are going around. That first of all, there's the one possible theory that we might have saw Deadpool in this. Not really. Again, this is probably a fan stretch, but they were like Deadpool, who there was a zombie in there who looked like they had two swords on their back. Looked like they were wearing a red outfit similar to Deadpool's. But then there's also all the birds that start attacking Happy in the train station, which is very similar because that's the scene where Zombie Falcon comes in. Falcon in the comics has been also hinted at being a mutant at one point, able to talk to telepathically to birds. Do you think that this is something to jump on, or is this just more fan theory or just nods to the comic in this episode? Jeff, I'll lead with you with this one.
Yeah, I definitely think the bird thing is a nod to the old school version of the Falcon. Stretching zombie birds into the Falcon as an X-Man is sort of a jump for me because he's not even really that in the books. I absolutely think that I didn't catch the sword-bearing zombie guy with the red shirt, but that's got to be a nod, right? Because we know Deadpool is one of the first ones they're bringing in, and it can't hurt to draw that into the background. I also am pretty sure Marvel has always done a really good job of let's throw 18 Easter eggs in here and see what sticks and what doesn't, and those are the things that will develop down the line, or we'll leave them in there so that if a awesome creator that we bring in to make this movie or that movie says, I want to go pull on this thread that you guys left laying there. They're like, great. That's why we left it there. Grab it and run with it if you think you can do something awesome, and we'll see what happens. I think there's a lot of intentional development in the MCU, but I think there's a lot of accidental stuff where they say, just layer in everything you can, and then other people will pick up those threads and make things out of them in the future. So I wouldn't be surprised if that's what the Deadpool part of it was, because they know Deadpool's coming.
100% agree with that.
And let me see if I could get this image up.
We didn't get zombie Wolverine or anything. That would have been cool.
Oh, that would have been dope.
Can Wolverine be a zombie?
But I want to show you guys too the image, like while you take on it. Yeah, Wolverine was a zombie in the Marvel.
Was he a zombie in the Marvel Zombies? Healing Factor doesn't fight zombies.
Yeah, he was.
Probably not.
No, what happened was that it was what is it? It was Hold up. I'm gonna bring up a slow site because this thing is like killing me. No, what happened was that in Marvel Zombies, it was a cosmic virus that turned all the heroes into zombies, and it affected Wolverine's healing factor too, which made him into a zombie. Which
It's not a traditional medical thing, so the healing factor can't get after it or whatever.
Probably,
Yeah, because he'd be
Right.
vulnerable to magical type stuff. So I get it. That makes sense.
But
Okay.
I have the picture, but Lo, I want you to lead in with this one.
I have no response after what Jeff said. Like that, I'm 100% in agreement with that. Like there are times, yeah, you did good. That was perfect. Like literally. So, like you said, there's threads that they leave, and people pick them up later on. There's also stuff that they do like that are just red herrings that people just have for the sake of having.
Yeah. See, I saw that when I rewatched it today. I was like, that just looks like Rube the
That looks like an
rebar.
actual samurai, like he's wearing a kimono sort of a deal. That down at the bottom looks like a little flower in the white there, and he's got way too much hair to be Deadpool.
Yeah.
It could be a Deadpool cosplayer.
Yeah, and that looks like he's wearing that looks like a collar shirt, and he just has some metal. I mean, whatever. It could be anything. It could be anything.
It could be anything, and it's just one of those things that just maybe it's them poking fun at people.
Oh wait, go back to the image real fast. Go back to the image.
Right, gotcha. Let me pull it back up, and I got you right here in the screenshot. Here we go.
Because there's Deadpool, but then right between Deadpool and whoever it is in the back, like back there in the back, check out a homie with the beard, Sebastian Zombie.
There we go.
Right?
Right? Made a cameo too.
Congrats, man! You made it into the MCU. You got zombified.
There you go.
Right? Got the short beard.
Listen, I wasn't one of the guys that followed the zombie rules. I didn't work out enough, so they got caught being bit because I couldn't run fast enough. No, actually, it would be my luck that I'd be caught on the toilet. That one guy in the toilet in Zombieland. It'd be at the Shake Shack truck stop on the Garden State.
That's rough, buddy.
Why are you stopping at a Shake Shack during a zombie apocalypse?
Because he's
priorities.
Because
I like that he just assumed that would be the toilet that he'd be on when the zombie caught him. He's like, other than the toilet in my house, that's probably like my number two spot. My number two spot. See what I did there? And if that's where the zombie's gonna get you. They're not gonna get you on your home toilet, right? You get locks on your door.
Yeah. Jesus.
But so we're coming down to that final hour. So Jeff, we're gonna give you this final hour too, because again, this has been fun talking about zombies and everything. But we want to bring you in for the plug. So we want you again plug away at that Kickstarter, because again, this is that Kickstarter that's out there, guys. If you don't know the Kickstarter, you are missing out on this. And where's my screens? The Arcane Cocktail Enthusiast. Please give us that plug.
We are stoked. The Arcane Cocktail Enthusiast is live on Kickstarter right now. It's the story of Lark Larar, who is a magical mixologist. She's a cocktail bar owner in San Francisco and a awesome boss lady, but she also is secretly a wizard, and her whole bar is run on magical drinks and magical ingredients in her cocktails. So she has a whole staff full of folks that are various magical creatures that are all under her protection, because human wizards like our villain Mace Dansari like to hunt magical creatures and cook them and eat them and do terrible things with them. And Lark looks out for those guys, and they all become her allies. And in issue 3, which is the issue that's on Kickstarter right now, we see those stakes really get ratcheted up. There are a couple of folks that the villains are absolutely desperate to get their hands on, and Lark and her friends have to really hunker down and protect those folks. And they learn some of the reasons that these villainous wizards are out to get these folks are connected to Lark's past and the source of Lark's magic. So it gets a little dark by the end. It gets a little scary, but it's a lot of fun. This is the 3rd issue of the book, and it has been on hiatus during the pandemic, but it is back. If you're a new reader and you haven't read Arcane Cocktail Enthusiast before, there are tiers where you can get all 3 books. If you like physical books or digital comics, those are all there. We've also got all sorts of cool bar swag. When you write a comic book about a bar, there's all sorts of good stuff. So there's coasters and staff t-shirts and all that great stuff that you can get your hold on at the high tiers if you're really into the swag thing. And there's going to be more as we get to the stretch goals. We're already over 60% on day 1, which is awesome. We super love all the support that we've been getting from the comics community and the indie folks and our guys on Kickstarter, which is great. We're a project we love, which I found out about an hour ago, so that's pretty awesome. And it's going to be a lot of fun. We got a long way to go. It's 30 days. We will hit New York Comic Con right on the tail end of the campaign, so we will be able to talk it up while we're there, and it's going to be a ton of fun. It's at arcanecocktailenthusiast.com or arcanistbar.com, or you can find the links. I'm sure Sebastian's got links in there, whatever.
We got them description. So guys, you heard about it. It's right there in the description. The link will take you directly over to the Kickstarter, so that this way you guys can hopefully fund this book. Again, check out the tiers. There's the tiers to get all 3 issues. Check out the stuff there. We want to get Jeff before the end of this week is over to where we're now talking about push goals.
Yes.
So we want them push rewards. We want this fully funded. And again, if you guys have loved Harry Potter, if you've loved magic, if you just want something outside of superhero books, this is the book for you guys to definitely fund. Again, go there. It's the Arcane Cocktail Enthusiast. And I mean, one of the cool things, like you said, there's drink recipes too at the end of every book. So can go back there. And just a quick announcement. So the 29th, we're going to be with MLA Entertainment on our channel live. On the 29th, we're going to be doing a live table read. So you'll get to hear us possibly read some of playing as some of the characters with the cast for Project Infinity. And Law will be on Sketchfed tomorrow on the Geektopian. So he'll be on there tomorrow. But again, this has been another awesome episode of Nerds Around. Make sure you follow everything. All of Jeff's links are in the description. The episode we interviewed him is in the description. The Kickstarter link is in the description. That's the most important thing. So please go to the Kickstarter right now. So this has been your boy Sebastian.
It's your boy Law.
And your boy Tone from across the hall.
Where was that beautiful bean footage? Let's roll it one more time on our outro.